Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Rinde Eckert's Toy Box Live with Ellen McLaughlin. If you'd like, join us for a brief Q&A after the show. And now I give you Rinde and Ellen.
Hey, welcome Toy Boxers. This first thing is just a brand new thing. It's a few days old. I'm still trying to learn how to play it, but that's, that's the way it goes. It's called The Day is Breaking. The day is breaking now. The sun is on the rise. I cannot see your face. The light is in my eyes. Still I can see your shadow. I know you're standing there. You're breathing in the meadow. Your scent is in the air. We know what day the day holds, and I don't care. No matter what should unfold, I know you're there. The day is older now. The fog is rolling in. I cannot see your face. You're shrouded in the mist. Still I can feel your hand. I hear you breathing across the broken ground. I let you lead me. We don't know what the day holds. No matter what should unfold, I know you're there. I know you're there. The day is breaking now. The sun is on the rise. I cannot see your face. The light is in my eyes. Still I can see your shadow. I know you're standing there. You're breathing in the meadow. Little old-fashioned interruption there with the phone. We're up in Ellen's study. This is our first time up here. You can't see much of it.
It's really Rinde's studio in Ellen's study.
Well, you can just take a quick peek around it. It's really dangerous to do that. Oh, there are the books. You got to see the books. There we go. There we go. All right, where are we here? There we are. Okay. Just wanted to read. I'm working on a piece with Margaret Jenkins, and so I'm doing a lot of writing right now. I don't know whether this is going to make it into the piece, but I liked it, and I wanted to read it. It's called The Novel Begins. The novel begins. The novel begins. She took a measured breath, then forced her eyes from the wreckage by the side of the road, gazed into the distance, called the dog to her side, and began to walk on to the town she knew was not far off. Couldn't be far off. Must be just over the hill. It continues in that vein, the novel, in the head of the woman as she walks. The dog sometimes brushing her leg, sometimes running ahead. Always curious, Paizo, she says. Paizo, the dog's name, after the Greek for to squeeze or press. But she didn't care, had attached no significance to the etymology. She just liked the sound of it, Paizo. And on it goes, the novel, in her head and then out of it, then in again as she walks away from the wrecked car with Paizo, who keeps pace with her, then lags behind to examine some curiosity, a dead bird, deer scat, a crushed can, then catches up, runs ahead. No, never mind. Always acting on impulse, always curious. Paizo from the Greek for to squeeze or press. She thinks of the name now in this novel, wonders if there's more to it, if fate is toying with her. It's just the sound I love, the sound of the word, not the meaning. And yet she thinks there it is, the meaning, whether I want it or not, the meaning. I'm saying it, calling Paizo, and he comes, the dog, and the meaning of his name comes with him. It's a good novel. We don't get exhausted being in her head. We're happy to listen to her mind wander from thought to thought, memory to memory, theory to theory, then back to the dog and the world. All this from a single measured breath, we think. Then force our eyes up from the page, gaze into the distance, wonder where our dogs have gotten to. What curiosity is pressing them forward? I think you'll be fine. We've had the typical kind of testy exchanges during
A little fraud.
yeah.
I have stopped the clocks in the room so the subjects won't know what time it is. I have taken away their watches.
Stop the clocks in the
The room
room
is windowless,
so the subjects won't know what time.
Great care has been taken to make the room comfortably
I have taken their watches.
They mustn't feel trapped.
The room is windowless.
They ought to feel at home.
Great care has been
Like a
taken
good motel.
to make
Familiar
the
but
room
without personality.
comfortably austere. They mustn't feel
I have stopped the
trapped.
clocks in the room
They ought
so
to
the subjects
feel
won't know
at
what time it
home.
is.
I
I've taken away
stopped the
their
clocks
watches.
in the room.
The room is windowless.
So the
Great care
subjects
has been
won't
taken to make the
know
room comfortably
what time it
austere.
is.
They mustn't feel trapped.
I've taken away
They ought to feel
their
at home.
watches.
Like a good motel. Familiar but without personality.
The room is windowless. Great care has
I
been
have
taken
stopped the clocks in the
to make the
room.
room comfortably austere.
I have stopped the clocks
They
in the
mustn't feel trapped.
I have stopped
They ought
the
to
clocks.
feel at home. Like a good motel. Familiar but without personality. I have stopped the clock in the room. I have stopped the clocks. I have stopped
the clocks.
the clocks. Oh. Yeah.
You want to talk about this first?
Oh yeah. This is another from a run of things I called provocations. It was just a thing to get some ideas in the room for this dance with Jenkins Company, which happens, by the way, on November 20th. So it's going to be streamed from San Francisco, actually from Berkeley, actually from Oakland. That's where the studio is. So it's I'm really excited to actually get back in the room with some dancers. They're only going to be, everybody's going to be in. They're going to be behind plexiglass. All sorts of different things have been. They've made accommodations, but it's really going to be exciting. So I hope you tune in. November 20th, I think, is our first performance. This is provocation number 1.
Saturn's Day, September 5th, 2020. In the dream, I'm standing in the circle, arms spread wide, eyes closed, inviting the embrace of some kind, inviting a ghost, a god, a presence, repeating, I am ready now. I am ready now for some revelation. Surely some revelation is at hand, I remember the poet saying once. Or was it my father in a worn robe at 3 a.m., unable to sleep, trying to stave off the callers at that hour, dread? hopelessness, a stream of equations without solution? Or was it hypothesis of metapontum, the sea folding in on itself, thrown from the boat by the angry Pythagoreans? Did he, while drowning, wonder if he had kept quiet about it, would he have lived long enough to have seen the square root of 2 catalyze a revolution of maths? A beautiful pagoda of truths, principles, tiered, pointing to the moon? Or was it Basho on an ass pointing at the moon? Or was it Chaucer contemplating the cross, the rood, the road, the reeve, the furled sleeve, a field of sheaves bound with twine, surrounded by swine, a cart passing laden with barrels of wine? Was it Galileo, hounded, housebound, pointing to the moon, thinking of Hippasus drowning, weighed down by a slate tablet with the offending numbers engraved? Did Galileo think better about agreeing with Copernicus, wondering at that curved shadow, saying, hang on, does that mean, within the hearing of the benighted prelates, no moon on their dark skies? What do I mean to be standing so, arms out to welcome what? An emptiness of air? A careless God? Surely some revelation is at hand. No man's, no woman's embrace is waiting in the dark here in this dream. Some dragon, surely, protecting his treasure, protecting his gold, the secret of his fiery breath, his... Am I the distraction then? A diversion, diverting the attention of the gods while Prometheus sneaks in the back with a sack to steal the knack? And the rhyming is surely manic, born of panic, like identical doors in the memory palace opening on rooms. In this a chalice, here malice, here the callous of the polis, the crude of the city-state, the unpoliced police, logical consequence of the callous catalyst. And Catullus, caustic, irreverent, smiles from his circle of hell, dips a toe in the fabled river to forget just enough to blunt the nostalgia, the sole direction of the gaze from the bleak after. There is no going back, and yet the dead are all looking back. There is no forward. And yet here I am, arms spread, waiting, 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 pointing at the moon, repeating, soon, 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 not gone, not done, not lost, not one, not moon, not sun, not two, not one. There he is again, the drowning Greek, checking his math even on the way down. Not two, not one, somewhere in between, an irrational number, a dreamer in the dark with arms outstretched, awaiting embrace.
I'm going to close with a new thing for hammered dulcimer. This is unveiling the instrument that I've been using it. I used it in a show called Pericles that I did it to a show called Pericles. It was a version of Shakespeare's Pericles. Yeah, a little show called Pericles. And I'm going to turn my back on you now and play this little puppy. It's a 4-octave chromatic reversed. Anyway, you don't need to know.
The better angels of our nature are not born, but made, encouraged to materialize, and once materialized, invited to inhabit. And the same can be said of the worst angels, that they are allowed in, invited as protectors, as bodyguards. But once installed, they become obnoxious guests, forcing all other inhabitants to flee. They make demands. They constantly remind their host of the threats lurking in the future. They take credit for every success. They explain every failure as a result of their not being listened to properly. It is not they who have given bad advice. It is you who have misheard, misinterpreted. Still, the better angels are patient, hovering, waiting to be allowed to re-enter the now stagnant, stifling air of the sealed fort, this prison of fear. When allowed back in, the better angels will begin sweeping up the dross and awful, the legacy of paranoia and enmity left in the wake of the spiteful leave-taking of those we thought were our protectors. The better angels throw the doors wide open, invite the winds to pass unhindered, allow the petty thievery of the odd bird or squirrel, trusting that we can regain perspective and understand once more when enough is enough.
That's the toy box. Thank you all for coming. Join us in 2 weeks. 22nd, there'll be another Toy Box, new material, and maybe some old material, reworking some old material. So anyway, and featuring Ellen McLaughlin, the voice of the angel.
Always the voice of the angel.
See you later. Oh, are we going to do are we doing a talk back?
We're following you too.
Yeah, we can. If anybody wants to, if anybody has any questions, we're happy to hang out and
Cool.
say hello.
If anybody has a question, you can throw it in the chat, and I will unmute your microphone, and you can pose it to the team here. I have a question while we wait for people to put some questions in the chat. So you mentioned tense words before the clock piece. You two are often touring and doing lots of shows around the world and not spending a lot of time in the same room collaborating. How has it been spending lots of time collaborating?
It's been great, actually. It only gets a little strange when when we have limited time and I suddenly run into a microphone placement problem and I'm moving too fast and all the worst angels of my nature start coming out.
Well, one thing about the toy box is it generally pretty much comes together in the hour and a half before the toy box. And so there is a certain amount of being handed things and being told things to do within minutes of doing them. That can sometimes create tension.
It's not a difficult thing. We've been having actually a great time.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's the most time we've spent together in years. I mean,
Ever.
I think we spend maybe 3 months out of the year actually together.
And
So
when we are together, we're not really together because we're off working all day,
Mhm.
or doing stuff and leaving the house. And so to be in the house together for 6 months is just crazy.
yeah. But it's been
Nice.
good.
Well, I will pass the microphone to Charmin Hilfinger.
Oh, sure.
Hey, Charmin.
I'm asking Charmin to unmute.
And where are you, Charmin? Are you in Argentina?
We are in Argentina. We're still here.
Oh my God. Wow.
And this is the best entertainment we've had since we've been here.
Wonderful.
Great. Yeah. I wanted to know this text, The Better Angels. Whose text is that?
That's mine. I wrote it just a while back.
Yesterday?
No, about last week, I think. I wrote it last week, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was either maybe Saturday or Sunday.
Well, everything that is in
This was all mine this time.
everything that was in the toy box tonight was written by Rinde.
Yeah, so
I would love to see that text.
oh yeah, well we'll just send it to you. So
We can post things, right?
yeah, we can post them too, I guess. I think we can. I'm sure I can learn. I've been telling myself I'm sure I can learn how to do all this stuff.
And I have stopped the clocks. To me, I think that's what a lot of us feel like has happened, is the clocks have been stopped during this pandemic. So I found that very
Oh, great. Well, great
Thank
to
you,
hear
thank
your
you,
voice,
Bob.
Charmin.
Love you
yeah,
all.
great to see you.
I love it that we're in Argentina. We're big in Argentina.
Major
Because she's down in the Dominican Republic, so that would
Maybe she didn't make it this time.
she might not.
We next up have Pamela Z. I'm unmuting
Pamela
Z.
Wow.
Speaking of San Francisco, how are you out there?
Hi there, Rinde. I'm doing all right, all things considered. This is definitely the most bizarre period I've ever lived through. But here I am. I love this. I've been trying to drop in on as many of them as I can. I'm curious about the little wooden boxy bits there that you've been playing.
Oh, these actually, I didn't play them. I'll give you a little bit. They're actually much more interesting than I was able to do in this particular instance. So they're normally played with 2 mallets. They're just boxes you get at a hobby store. They're just little, but they have these properties, and so I've occasionally done little percussion pieces with. Oops, and that doesn't happen, of course. So they're pretty, it's a pretty cool little, they're like temple blocks, only, you know, it's 4 man's temple blocks.
But you just go to the craft store and pick them up.
You just go to the craft store and pick up these little boxes, and some you have to hit them. You have to go in and you have to bring something to hit them with, so you get the right boxes. They don't all have, they don't have good sound, so you have to check the sides. Some of them aren't, you know.
Yeah.
So and then you find out which ones do what. That, for instance, this one I love. This one is not so good here, so it's not the main. It's not a featured thing. That one I love, so that one's featured. That one's not bad, but I love these guys. And but then yeah, it's a kind of a dead sound. But then but it's got some nice sides. So
yeah.
I routinely go everywhere into hobby stores.
Yes.
Stuff.
Well, I do that in hardware stores sometimes.
I'm sure you do. Those of you who don't know Pamela Z, you ought to. She's a wonderful singer. One of our best.
As long as I've got the microphone, I'll quickly say also that I'm excited about the Margie Jenkins collaboration coming up, and please keep us posted about how we can partake of that.
Cool. Yeah, I'll let everybody know. I'll send my Toy Box crowd the link for it. I promise. I know I say these things before.
And I think that's our questions from the audience for the night.
Fantastic.
And thank you, everyone, for coming tonight.
Well, lots of love from our Nyack Irie here. And is that how you pronounce it? Harry. Is it?
Suzanne Wofford's out there.
Suzanne, is that how you... Would you say Irie or Airy?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
It's one of those words that one writes and reads, but rarely has a good occasion to use it.
I'm going to say airy.
Airy, maybe.
Well, I'll say Irie just to be contrary.
That's your word. I think that's right.
Thank you all for coming. Hope you join us next time.
Beautiful. Really great, you guys. Beautiful.